Okay, I'm coming to you guys. I already beat I did the last stream, beat the Mana Beast on Secret of Mana. But just in case you couldn't hear me on that last one, I know the audio cuts in and out sometimes. I just wanted to clarify some stuff that we've done in the video. Um, One of the things is you can get each of the magics up to level 8 and up to a power of 99. You can't get them up to level 9. They'll stop at 99. They'll do some different things. Like if you use the earth slide, sometimes it'll be a bigger ball of mud and it'll have a face on it, like kind of laughing whenever you do it. Some of the other stuff, like if you use the balloon thing, it'll put a balloon on them, but it'll look like a Mickey Mouse balloon with the ears and stuff like that. So they do different things. I went ahead and decided to just go through and beat the game. I didn't power up the rest of the weapons or anything like that. It took me a really long time to power up what I did, so that's why I didn't really want to take any more time, because I was wanting to get the video done today so that I could have it done and I wouldn't have to worry about it or wouldn't have to level anything else up. Because what happened was, like when you start the game and you start leveling up stuff, it starts with 9 points per kill or 9 points per cast on each thing that you do. As you get on up there, it goes down to 8, 7, 6, 5. It got down to the point to where it was one point per cast or 1 point per kill. And it was getting to the point to where I'd have to kill 100 enemies or I'd have to cast a spell 100 times. And it just got to the point to where it was one for each one, and I was just pretty much done with it. Not much to say about the Mana Fortress other than, like I said, you got to be in a specific spot to land on it. I kind of ran through it. There's really nothing in there except for enemies. And what you want to do is you want to run past most of those enemies. Now, you've seen in the playthrough, you may have seen where I got a chest that was running away from me, and it ended up being a vampire cape, which was better armor than what we had currently for either the sprite, I think, or the girl might have even been able to wear it. So we went ahead and equipped that. That's how sometimes that works in there. As long as you don't defeat the final boss, well, as long as you don't get up to Thanatos, which is the Dark Lich, and defeat him, as long as you don't get up to him, you can get back out of the Mana Fortress. But you may find it's rare, but you may find treasure chests that have better armor. You may find weapon orbs, things like that. You may find those within certain enemies that you kill. So, like the weapons can get up to level 9. Can you get them up to level 9? Not necessarily. Sometimes the point system will go up a little bit over level 8, but it won't go all the way up to 9. It's like the magics, they won't go up to level 9 either. So I decided I'd go ahead, and I had the level 8 spells, so I decided I'd go ahead and beat the game that way. Of course, went to the first boss, which was I was worried about running out of Fairy Walnuts, which gives you 50 magic points back, because whenever you defeat a boss, it gives you your life back, but it doesn't give you your magic points back. So I was kind of worried about running out whenever I found out I was going to have to use the girl's magic on a couple of the bosses. And especially when it's a high-priced magic like the Lumina magic, which is the Lucent Beam, which is, I think, 8 magic points a pop. And even if you have 74 magic points, which we had up there, and I think it went up to 76 or 78, that's still not a whole lot of casts. And I'll tell you why that is here in a couple of minutes. But the first one you fight is the vampire. You just use it's the big bat thing. I think its name is Buffy. They were making a Buffy the Vampire Slayer joke there. But anyway, you face it, and you can hit it with 2 Lucent Beams. But some of these, when you cast them, like the Lucent Beam or the Dark Force or anything like that, you'll have to stop after 2 casts, because if you cast any more, it would let you infinitely cast until you run out of points. But the problem's going to be, like, 2 casts and then you see me stop and then it hits him for 999. If I would have used a 3rd cast, it wouldn't have been worth it, because whether you cast it twice or whether you cast it 20 times, it's still going to end as 999, because that's what it caps out at. Same thing with weapon attacks. That's what it caps out at, is 999. So that's why you saw a lot of me just hitting them 2 times and then just laying off. And then just hitting them 2 more times and laying off. I was trying to get the 999, but not an excessive use of magic, because it's not worth it in the end. It's not worth it. So don't excessively use your magic. When you go to the second boss, that's the Dark Slime, you use the dark force against him. Instead of the other slime was the lime slime, it got smaller as you killed it. This one gets bigger. He almost takes up the total entire part of the screen before he dies. And the thing is, when he gets so big, you get stuck in there. You can't move. So the best thing to do is just to cast spells and just let him hit him until he dies. I wasn't too worried about that, because the sprite has a magic point absorb under, I believe it's the Luna one. And I could have stole magic points from somebody and got them back, but I didn't have to use the sprite really that much afterwards. So we went on and you fight Thanatos next, which is the Dark Lich. And the same thing, the Lumina power works against him. Now you got to really be careful, because he's got a lot of nasty tricks and a lot of things that he does. You can actually hit him when it's just his arms hanging out of the ground. I forgot about that. But you can hit him that way. And you just beat him with that Lucent Beam, and just try to keep him not very mobile. Just try to keep him in one spot, or at least in just a couple of spots. And just he takes a lot of damage, though. And the Mana Beast at the end is the same way. He takes a lot of damage. I fought the Mana Beast a little bit differently than I usually do. You saw me casting Defender after, he'll come at you, and then he'll go across, and then he'll be right in front of you, and then he'll go across again. Those 2 crossing routes, he hits you on those, and he hits you coming towards you. He casted Lucent Beam on me a few times there in the middle. The best thing to do is just don't even worry about the sprite. Don't even worry about the sprite. You guys probably seen me let the sprite die. I had to let him die because I couldn't keep him. I couldn't use Cure Water or anything else on him. So I couldn't use anything on him. So, until that spell had come off of him, and there was no way to get that spell off. So I had to let him die so I could use a couple wishes, bring him back, so that the spells weren't still bouncing off of him. So that's why he died in the process. It wasn't just because. It was because I had to let him die so that I could do anything with him. You can let them attack the Mana Beast, but they won't do that much damage. The best thing to do is to have the boy, put him right in the center, give him the sword, have them cast the mana stuff on it. I don't really see where he does more damage when the mana stuff is casted on it anyway. And I'm sure there's other things that I could have casted that maybe would have sped it up a little bit. But the way I done it, it worked out pretty good because I used Defender, which helps nullify at least some of the physical attacks. And that's all. Well, it's not all the Mana Beast has, but it's... Probably should have used Magic Absorb on him so he didn't use that Lucent Beam on me so daggone much. But anyway, you need to watch your players and kind of heal them and keep them up at least over 200 hit points per time, because like I was using the Defender and now I was using the, I think it was a Lucid Barrier. And it keeps you from getting hit by weapon attacks, and it makes that ting sound. Well, he wouldn't hit us the first 2 times, like the time when he's swirling coming in, And then on the time where he went across, he'd hit us on the third time when he went across or when he hit me with the Lucent Beam. But there wasn't a whole lot there that he could do. You want to avoid casting spells on him because he uses wall right off the bat. You can use Dispel Magic, which is a shade magic spell that the sprite has. You can use that on him. But I really don't know why you would cast spells on him. I really don't know. I find that rather odd. But anyway, I always just beat him with the sword. Just charge the sword up, and every time he comes down, try to hit him twice. Try to hit him once, and then charge it up again. Try him again. If you think he's going to fly away, try to just take whatever charge you got and just slam it into him. Because some of the time, like even on the video, I hit him for 999. Didn't even have the mana power on the sword. And then, like, when you did have the mana power, it was only like 400 or 500. And then there was another time where I charged all the way up to level 8 and hit him for 400 or 500. And I hit him with a level 5 charge, and it hit him for like 600 or 700. It's just, it's really random on how that works. It's just really random on how it works. But just, the girl, just keep her focused on healing, and then that defender and that Lucid Barrier every time. Make sure that's the right one with the weapon, with the nullifying on the weapon damage. But just make sure that you cast that every time after he goes back, and just make sure that you hit him, at least once, if not twice, every time he comes in. And he's kind of different because you don't really know that you've killed him until he turns like a shade of, it's a combination of like gray, white, and silver. And you'll notice that you killed him. And like I said, the fight probably could have been shorter. It wasn't really that long anyway. The whole video wasn't that long, basically, because I was going through the area and I didn't want to fight too many enemies. I like the game. I really like the game. It's one of my favorites, but whenever I get to the end of it, I want to be done. And once you see that the end screen, you basically have to go back to the beginning screen. You can, like I said, you can level up more and you can do more things. Just don't beat the Dark Lich. Just save before you beat the Dark Lich, and you can do whatever you want. You can level them up as high as you want, whatever you want to do. Like I said, just don't beat the Dark Lich, and that's the way to do it. I was kind of disappointed I couldn't find the other 2 orbs to make all the weapons level 8, but we'll live with that because I've been able to find level 9 orbs before in the Mana Fortress, and things of that nature. So they do exist. I have seen some of the weapons, and they do exist. Like I said, this is one of my favorite games. I really like this game. I like the music in it. I like the controls and things in it. Some people don't like the controls. The hit detection sometimes is a little bit off, and sometimes the game has little glitches here and there. But even with all of its, even with those, the little glitches and the things of that nature, I think it's a good game. I still like the game. I think it's a good game. Like I said, it remains one of my favorites. I've beaten it probably a handful of times, maybe a couple more. It makes it more fun when there's more than one person playing. And plus the strategies can change up a little bit better, and you can do a little bit more. Like I was telling you, whenever I was fighting the Mana Beast, the best thing for me to do with one player is just stay as one character and work the radials off of the other ones, because you're allowed to, you can hit the Y button to bring up your own radial system, and then you can hit the X button, it'll bring up one of the other 2. You can kind of see on the outline of the box who you've got. If it's a kind of a blue outline, it's the boy. If it's a purple outline, it's the girl, and if it's a like a greenish outline, it's the sprite. So, but just hitting X to change in between the other two characters' radials and things like that, it makes it a little bit easier for one player to just access the whole game. Plus, you can switch the characters if you need to and everything like that. You probably see me switching characters through the Mana Fortress because they wanted to fight everything that was on the way, and I was not interested in fighting all the enemies that were on the way. What's coming up is we're going to try to finish Final Fantasy 1's playthrough. I'm just trying to figure out times when I will have that I can really just go on through the game and just defeat dungeon by dungeon, because sometimes they take a while and sometimes they don't take that long at all. Excuse me. Excuse me again. But anyway, like I said, we'll try to do. We're going to try to finish that. I think I'm going to try to do Adventure Island. I think I'm going to try to do all three of those, but I think I'm going to start with Adventure Island 2, and then maybe Adventure Island 3 and Adventure Island 1. At some point, and I've started watching a YouTube video on Super Punch-Out, which I've never been able to beat. I know other people can beat it. I can't beat it right at the moment, but I'm watching this guy that's got some thought processes on YouTube. I'm going to try to beat that at some point, and maybe if I get good enough to beat that, maybe I can stream that all the way through as well, and maybe I can add some tips that he doesn't have that I found out myself. So maybe I can do that, and we'll see how that goes. But it would be something for me to beat that, because I haven't beat that. I've never beat that. I can get pretty far, but I can't beat the game. And I think it's because of some of the enemies, but I might try to do Mike Tyson's Punch-Out too, or Punch-Out, whichever one you want to call it on the NES. And probably I'll try to do that at some point too. I've not made it all the way through on that one either, so I can make it again far, but not far enough. So, but until next time, be watching out for those videos, and we'll see what happens on the Friday night flashback.